Royalty Squad. It's your girl Queen Bee in the cut once again, back with another video. As you guys know by the title, I am going to be doing a story time about when I found out I was pregnant with CJ, y'all. This was highly requested by so many people, so I decided why not do it right now. It's like 3:18 in the morning, y'all, so if my voice go out, it's because I got my sleepy voice on. It's just I'm trying to stay up. So yeah, I'm about to get right into the story. So whew, this was a lot. So it was June or July, I'm not sure, June or July 2014, right? And Chris was, I think, finishing up his sophomore year in college. I have been planning to go to the same college as Chris, not only because I want to be where he was, but I was planning to go because it was a really good school, and it was honestly the only school that was accepting me at the time. I had already got accepted and everything. So my mom was about to throw me an open house and everything. The crazy thing is, me and Chris were actually broken up at the time when I found out I was pregnant. We honestly had no contact with each other at all. Like, none. Yeah, we had no contact with each other at all. We didn't text each other, we didn't call each other. The only contact we had was seeing each other at church. We didn't even speak then. Like, you know it's bad when you in church and you can't even speak. I can't remember why we were broken up at the time, but it was like, it had been a month and a half at least since we were broken up. But of course, y'all know before then, you know, me and Chris was doing the nasty. I guess, you know, during the time that we were broken up, I had realized that I wasn't coming on my period. And I had missed it, and like, I didn't say too much about it. I was just honestly like, okay, well, I didn't come on. I'ma just wait till it happens or whatever. Because I thought that maybe I was just stressed out from the breakup. And sometimes your period can actually delay itself if you are stressed out. So that's what I was thinking. And then not to mention, this has happened to me before. So I really didn't think nothing of it, you know? And I had pregnancy scares before with Chris, and I never was pregnant. Like, the test always said negative. So I didn't think I would be pregnant, you know? So time went by, and you know, I still hadn't came on my period, and so I got scared. But I didn't tell my mom at the time. I wanted to take a pregnancy test on my own just to see if I was or not. So I was talking to my auntie, which is my uncle's wife, my auntie by marriage. And you know, I was talking to her telling her that I thought I might be pregnant. And so I was like, hey, slide me a pregnancy test, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to go to the store and get one. She came and gave me a pregnancy test or whatever, and I took it, and it said negative. So I didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay, well, I must not be pregnant. I guess I'll just, you know, just wait till my period starts. So more time went by, and I was at home one night, and I was just talking. Me and my mom was actually on the couch talking about kids, and it was just like so ironic that we were talking about kids at the time. So I was like, hey, why not bring it up to my mom right now? Like, why not bring it to her attention? Because we were talking about like her having grandkids, and like who we thought was gonna be pregnant first out of me and my siblings. So of course, you know, it was gonna be me because I'm the oldest, but we were talking about that. So I was like, hey, why not bring it up? So I told my mom that night, I was like, hey, you know, Ma, I ain't started my period or whatever, but you know, it may not be that I'm pregnant. It's probably just because I'm stressed out. I told her that because I didn't want to scare her, but at the same time, I was like throwing it out there, like, you know, making sure that I told her something just so she could have a hint in her head just in case if I was pregnant. So my mama went from 0 to 10, y'all. I'm telling you, she went from 0 to 10 because the thought of me being pregnant before going to college, and like, she just thought it was gonna mess up my life. Like, she just thought that, you know, it was nothing but a big distraction. And at the time, she knew me and Chris was broken up, but even before then, when we were together and seeing each other, she didn't like the fact that we were together at the time and trying to be together so young, because she felt like I wasn't focusing on myself and what the stuff I was supposed to be focused on. She felt like he was a distraction to me, and he took all my attention, and she wanted me to focus on like going to school or, you know, stuff like that first. When I told her that, the first thing that popped up in her mind was like, okay, well, you pregnant. And I was like, no, 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 Mom, calm down. It may not be that I'm pregnant. It may just be that I'm stressed out, you know, because of course me and Chris was broken up. And she was like, no, well, we need to make sure. And I was like, well, honestly, I already took a pregnancy test and it said negative. We was going back and forth or whatever. And she was like, no, when we get up in the morning, we're going to the clinic to make sure you're not pregnant. I was like, okay. So I didn't think nothing of it, you know, I just went to sleep, because usually when my mom would say stuff, it's like, honestly, you know, not to throw no shade, but my mom would say stuff and forget about it. And that was like the funny thing, because you know how like your parents say you're gonna get in trouble or something like that, and then when they get home, they forget about it. So I was just like, oh, she gonna forget. But I promise y'all, when I opened my eyes, this woman was standing over me brushing her teeth. And she was like, come on, get up, we got to go to the clinic. This woman was not playing no games. Like, she wanted to know. So I get up, I got confidence, like, you know, it's cool. I had pregnancy scares before. I'm not pregnant, I know I'm not. So we get to the doctors and stuff, and I take a pregnancy test. And I'm just sitting there, and she in there waiting. And you know how somebody just like nervous or mad? She was just like, her leg was just like moving the whole time. It was just shaking. And we were waiting on the results. The doctor had came back in after I took the test, and he was like, what was his words? These were his exact words, y'all. He said, so your urine was clear. And I was like, good, you know, so I'm not pregnant. As soon as I thought that, you know, it was good news, he came at us with, but the pregnancy test was positive. So I'm just sitting here looking like, oh my God. And my mama just looking at me like, shaking her head like, you done messed your life up, da 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 da. You was planning to go to college, now look at you, now we gotta plan a baby shower instead of an open house. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, I'm shocked. Like, I can't even say nothing at this point, because I'm 18, I just got out of high school, and never would I imagine myself having a baby this young. I was an outgoing person. I would always go out with friends, and you know, I just didn't imagine myself being a mom so young. And plus, me and Chris were broken up, and I didn't know if we were getting back together or not. So I was thinking of all this stuff like, oh my God, I'm gonna be a single parent. Like, I don't know if I can do this. At that moment, I was thinking about like, oh, what can I do? Like, can I take a pill and can a baby go away? I was thinking about all this stuff, y'all, to get unpregnant, but it was too late. It was already done. So, you know, my mama was pissed off, but she didn't blow up at me, because honestly, the night before, that was the time she blew up at me. But she wasn't showing it. I knew she was pissed off, but she wasn't showing it. So we got home, and I remember my little sister and brother, we were sitting on the couch all together, and my mama told them, and they was happy as heck. Like, they was happy. They was like, oh, we about to have a niece or a nephew. My sister and brother was like, oh no, I want a girl, no, I want a boy. It was like going back and forth, and my mom was just sitting there quiet, and I was just sitting there crying. So honestly, y'all, I didn't tell Chris that I was pregnant until 2 weeks after I found out, because, you know, it was, I'm not gonna go into that, but you know, it was stuff, it was me and my mom was going back and forth about, you know, telling him and stuff like that, which he should have been the first person I told. I admit that, but I waited or whatever. I waited until 2 weeks, and I think I unblocked him. Yeah, I unblocked him from Facebook. I think I had him blocked, and I messaged him, and I was like, hey. And he was like, yeah. I was like, I'm pregnant. Like, we about to have a baby. And I was like, I know we broken up and stuff like that, so we gonna have to talk about, you know, how we gonna do things, and you know, like how we gonna care for the baby, you know, without being hateful towards each other. Because, you know, me and Chris was a little bit bitter towards each other during that breakup. Even though we wasn't talking, we was still, you know, just not friendly to each other at all. So, he was like, okay. And I was like, thinking to myself, like, okay, that's all you got? Like, that's all you saying? Like, I said, how do you feel? And he was like, honestly, I kind of knew it. And it's just crazy because, I don't know, like, if we haven't been talking for that long, I'm like, how could you know? He was like, honestly, I just knew it was gonna happen. I was like, okay, so he was acting nonchalant about it, you know? Me and Chris we had started, you know, just conversating more about the baby, about the doctor's appointments and stuff like that, but we wasn't talking about getting back together. At that time, actually, my mom and Chris wasn't on good terms. I was talking to my mom a lot, and over the time, I was like, you know, I think that since me and Chris gonna have a baby, I feel like y'all really need to talk. You know, like you guys really need to talk, because if you gonna be his grandmom and Chris is his dad, it's like y'all gonna have to, you know, come to some kind of cordial agreement or something. So she ended up calling him, and she was like, you know, she thought she was the first one to tell Chris that I was pregnant, but she wasn't. I was the first one to tell him, and he already knew that. But she called him, she was like, you know, you're gonna be a dad and this and that. And at the time, we was so sure that I was having a girl. So I remember her saying, you're gonna have a daughter and all of this. And they basically mended, you know, back their relationship and got back on good cordial terms. It was so shocking, because even though me and Chris was broken up, when Chris was talking to my mom on the phone, he was basically telling her, like, you know, I don't want Queen to just be a baby mama. I want her to be my wife. Like, I want to make this right. Because y'all, in reality, we was going to church. We knew right from wrong. We knew we was fornicating. We knew that we was having a baby out of wedlock, and like it just wasn't a good look for us to be going to church and having a baby but not married. It just didn't look right. So, you know, my mom was like, okay, just, you know, take it slow, because she really did not want us getting married that young either. But it's like me and Chris at the time, we were old enough to make our own decisions and stuff like that. So, you know, that happened anyway, and we didn't end up having the baby out of wedlock. But I'm saying a baby, CJ, we didn't end up having CJ out of wedlock. But I was just like so shocked that, like, during the time we was broken up, he was saying that he wanted to marry me. I was like, where did this come from, you know? But I guess he just wanted to make things right and mend, you know, our relationship back, and he wanted to be a family, and I wanted to be a family too. You know, we had hard times after that. We had both sides of our family to be there for us, but we had hard times as far as coming up, and it was hard for me to adjust from being, you know, a high school girl to being a married woman, like a mom, all this stuff. So after my pregnancy, it's like, and during my pregnancy, I was stressed out, and I was just so worried about, you know, like, was I gonna be a good mom or not and stuff like that. But honestly, it wasn't as hard as I thought. And you know, God kept us the whole way. Like, we never wanted for anything. Like, CJ never needed for anything, because God always made a way where even when we were struggling, you know, he would bless us. He would use people to bless us. I said this to say, like, if anybody's having the same issue out there, if you pregnant or you found that you was pregnant and you feel like you're too young and you feel like you can't do it, I just want to say that you can do it, whether you're single or not, regardless of what terms you on with the baby's father. You know, it's gonna be okay. God got you. It's gonna be your testimony. So I just wanted to tell you guys the story time, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If y'all want to know more about the breakup, I can think about how that happened and do a story time on that as well. But yeah, that was pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story time, and I love you all. I'm about to take my butt to sleep. And yeah, that's about it. So I will see y'all in the next vlog or the next video. But before I take my butt to sleep, y'all, I wanted to do a shout out for a new upcoming YouTube couple. Everybody loves YouTube couples, because I mean, everybody loves love, you know what I'm saying? But they are actually from the Middle East. I thought they were African at first, but they're from Turkey. Turkey, that's crazy, right? The husband's name is Mushood, I believe, and the wife's name is Kikalomo. So they also speak English, and they also speak, I don't know what they speak, another language, I don't know. But they do like challenges, vlogs, pranks, all that stuff. Make sure y'all go check them out. They're pretty nice and fun and different, you know, different to look at different cultures and stuff like that and how they do stuff. And they also have a child together too. So make sure you guys go subscribe to them. The link will be in the description. Go check their page out as well. And that's about it. I love you guys, and I'm about to take my butt to sleep. Good night.